Coming up on Valley News Live at 10, a man says his claims of sex abuse at the hands of clergy in the Crookston Diocese were covered up.
We're learning more about the police officer who shot and killed Dante Wright in Brooklyn Center.
Plus, an exclusive interview. A woman explains her severe reaction to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
The evening has a bite to it, and no wonder with the conditions we're seeing out there.
Here in the Fargo-Moorhead Metro, it's cold out there. No snow at the moment, but that's expected to change. So let's get more on the overnight forecast from our chief meteorologist. He joins us now. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. And as a matter of fact, it is changing right now. Take a look. This is our camera out there at the Luther Family Ford location. Snow beginning to return to the FM area as a batch just to the north of us is causing it to look like this along Highway 200 in Hallstatt. Yep, horizontal flakes flying out there. Here it is on the radar between Grand Forks and Fargo. The whites that you see there are large flakes of snow, big ones, Mayville, Hillsboro. So these will definitely reduce visibility and will again cause roads to be a little on the slippery and slushy side. A few showers continuing in central parts of North Dakota where the drought has been extreme. Temperatures are in the 20s, so it's certainly slippery. Here's a few reports. Minot 8.5 inches of beautiful moisture there. Greenbush 4.3 from earlier. 6 inches reported this evening in Hallock with a little bit more on the way. If you can't beat the weather, Heather's son says take the go-kart out and make some tracks. Well, our weather's been going round and round. I'll tell you where it's heading for the rest of the week here in just a couple of moments. But for now, watch out. There's still some flakes flying outdoors.
Now that looks like fun.
It does.
All right, thanks.
The Crookston Diocese is in need of a new bishop tonight. Today, Pope Francis appointed Reverend Richard Pates to lead on an interim basis until the new bishop is chosen. This follows the resignation of Bishop Michael Hepner after allegations that he covered up sexual abuse involving clergy in the diocese. Tonight, a local man is speaking out, saying his sexual abuse claims were covered up years ago through the Crookston Diocese. Valley News Team's Nishay Taylor shares his story. It's a story you'll only see here on Valley News Live.
Truthfully, him resigning is it's a double-edged sword for me. The good part of it is that justice finally was done.
Ron Vosick says he's been fighting to get his truth heard after revealing to Bishop Hepner of the Crookston Diocese his experience with sexual abuse.
I revealed to the bishop in 2011, I believe it was, that I was abused by Father Grandhouse.
Vosick says he was abused by the priest back in 1971. In 2017, Vosick went public with a lawsuit alleging Hepner tried to bury his sexual abuse claims. Vosick says now he is relieved the truth is coming to light, but was looking for an explanation.
I was hoping that, first off, that the people responsible for the wrongdoing that they did would publicly own up to it instead of just getting I resign.
He also says amends were never attempted to be made.
There's never been an apology to me directly. And not that I need it, but I would think that for the sake of the soul of the diocese, that they would like to hear some contrition from the people that are responsible.
In Crookston, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
According to a statement, Bishop Richard Pates is from the Diocese of Des Moines and has been named Apostolic Administrator for the Diocese of Crookston. If you need help uncovering an issue in your community, call our whistleblower hotline and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Call 237-6576 and leave your tip.
For the third night in a row, crowds are gathering for another protest in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, after the killing of Dante Wright. This is a live look at the city right now. A curfew currently in effect. It's going to be until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Police have been moving the protesters away from the police station. They've issued warnings to those protesters to leave due to unlawful assembly, or they would be arrested. Similar protests are taking place across the country, many of them remaining peaceful. Now, earlier today, the officer that shot and killed Wright over the weekend resigned. The city's police chief also stepping down. But before Officer Kim Potter shot the 20-year-old, she yelled, "Taser!" Unfortunately, she fired her gun. As Wright's death continues to prompt protests, we're learning more about the 26-year-old police veteran who fired that deadly shot. Sanlin Sarafati reports.
We did not ask her to resign. That was a decision she made.
Kimberly Potter, the police officer who shot Daunte Wright, stepping down from the Brooklyn Center Police Department today.
I'm hoping that this will help bring some calm to the community, although I think ultimately people want justice.
Potter saying in her short 2-sentence resignation letter, she is resigning in the interest of the community. I have loved every minute of being a police officer and serving this community to the best of my ability. Body cam video, which is disturbing to watch, showing Potter shooting 20-year-old Daunte Wright during the fatal traffic stop on Sunday. 48-year-old Kimberly Potter had been a police officer for more than half her life, first joining the department in 1995, 26 years ago. She had served in 2019 as the police union's president, according to the Star Tribune, had been on the police force's negotiation team and worked as a field training officer. The head of the Minnesota Police and Police Officers Association tells the Star Tribune that on the day of the shooting, Potter had been training a new rookie officer. This is not her first time dealing with the aftermath of an officer-involved shooting. According to a county attorney's report, Potter arrived at the scene of a fatal officer-involved shooting of a man in 2019. The man had been threatening his grandfather with a knife and hammer. The use of deadly force by the police was ruled as lawful. Potter giving the instructions to the two officers involved in the shooting to get into different police cars, turn off their body cameras, and to not speak to each other. Actions that appear to be consistent with the police department's policies. She was not present at the time of the shooting and was not accused of any wrongdoing. Potter is married to a former police officer, the Star Tribune reports, and is the mother of 2 adult sons.
And the county prosecutor says he hopes to have a decision on whether to charge Potter by tomorrow.
While some colleges in the U.S. have announced they'll require their students to prove they've had the COVID-19 vaccine, schools in the Red River Valley are taking the opposite approach.
We are not requiring vaccinations, but we are highly encouraging students, and we're celebrating with them when they have a chance to get a vaccine.
The decision stands for the higher education systems in Minnesota and North Dakota. NDUS officials say a vaccination mandate would have to come from the health department and lawmakers. Private colleges are able to require vaccines if they choose to do so. We reached out to both the University of Jamestown and Concordia College today. They say they're still in the planning process regarding vaccine mandates and say at this time it's unclear when a decision will be made. If you have questions regarding COVID vaccines, you can use our VNL vaccine tracker to sort through them. It's on the home page of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up.
Tough day for a semi-driver after the coil tubing he was hauling hit and damaged an overpass along I-94 near Bismarck. The Highway Patrol says there's a hole in the bridge's deck. The north and southbound lanes that cross over the bridge have been shut down so repairs can be made. The 25-year-old driver was taking the coil tubing from McKenzie to Mandaree. 6 people were hurt, 4 of them seriously, when an SUV rear-ended a school bus. This along Highway 83 south of Minot today. The Highway Patrol says the bus slowed down to make a left turn when the SUV came up from behind. Another bus arrived on scene to give rides to any children who weren't picked up by their parents.
The Internal Revenue Service is on track to start sending stimulus-enhanced child tax credits to millions of families. The agency plans to debut an online portal on July 1st, allowing it to send the child tax credit to families periodically this year instead of as a lump sum at tax time.
We fully expect to launch in July. We expect to launch with payments going out on a monthly basis.
Reddick says families can use the portal to inform the IRS of any changes to their households this year or to opt out of monthly payments.
Still ahead tonight on Valley News Live at 10. Are you concerned about the COVID vaccines? We'll talk to local health officials about the safety of what's being offered.
And moving out of the Newfolden area this evening is a batch of some moderate to maybe even briefly heavy snow heading into Hillsboro. But does the rest of the work week look as foul as today's weather? We won't duck the tough questions here at Valley News Live. I'll have your forecast coming up next.